Welcome to the Performer Radio Show. Each week, we interview some of the most interesting people in the fashion and entertainment industries. Fashion and entertainment industries. Beautiful models, singers, comedians, dancers, fashion designers, actors, beauty queens, and many more. Right here on the Performer Radio Show.
Jules.
We're back.
Welcome back to Massachusetts.
I am back.
You are back. How was Florida?
You see how golden I am?
Yes, I do.
A little tan.
Well, let's get a nice little close-up. Oh, that's Mike. We don't want Mike. Mike will get to you in a second. No, Mike didn't look golden, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll take it over.
You'll take it? Okay, yeah. No, you still look good. You still got a lot of color.
It was 85 degrees, sunny. It's Florida sunshine. I loved it.
Hey, we're not doing too bad right now.
Actually, it's not bad.
For late March in Boston, this is a gem.
We actually rode the top down today in Higgs' Jeep. So.
Oh, good. And we got John Higgins coming up in a few minutes to talk to him about the ticket situation and the venues in Boston. Okay, so what's the first thing you did when you went down there?
TPC, the Players Championship, golf baby.
Golf baby. You're definitely.
I'm addicted.
Well, when did you start? About a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, June.
June. Oh, so it's not even.
Yeah,
it's
not a year.
Months.
Yeah.
It's 9 months.
COVID got me, and I have the bug, and so obsessed.
And what about? I mean, you like being a spectator as well as being a participant.
Of course.
But what was really were you a spectator first, and then you wanted to play, or you were playing and then you became more involved in spectating?
Just that you were locked inside of our apartments because of COVID, and you can be outdoors, you can drink, and you can make new friends. I was like, sign me up.
So every time you go to a course, do you just join a foursome?
So I have done that. I've been a single before, and it's kind of fun, to be honest. Or people online. I was like, do you want to need someone else? I'll do it.
You'd be the type of girl that would go on a cruise by yourself and just hit every table at dinner time so you can meet all the different people.
I would.
Yes, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You have that kind of personality, which is very sweet.
Good.
You like that's that Southern charm in you.
Hey, baby.
Yes, okay, and that's that Southern charm in you. So you like making friends, new friends all the time.
And then golf, it's just a great sport. It's hard, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's an interaction sport with people. You meet people, you get to, and you talk about it, and over several hours. It's not rushed. It is. Well, it's a little rushed, but if you got someone behind you.
Right.
But I'm just saying is you get what for 9 holes? It's on the average how many hours, give or take?
I usually do 18. But...
Okay, well, 18. Well, cut it in half.
Let's say 2.5.
2.5. That's right. So, but for 18, it's more or less a whole day.
Yeah. I just tell people I'm gone the whole day. Like, I'm not going to tell you how long I'm going to come back home.
I used to be involved with the Playboy Golf. Back in early 2010s.
Well, that's
and then
exciting.
that changed to Links and Laces later on. So I am familiar. When I play stupid with golf, it's because just I want to ask some questions and just.
I know you know some knowledge.
Yes, I do know some knowledge. That's the whole point. But I want people to see what the game is like for people that don't know.
Exactly.
So when I ask what might be sounding like a stupid question, it's just to get some more background so 100%. People that don't know. Okay. All right. So. You have been back for how many days now?
Oh, gosh. Let's say 5 days.
So the weather's been really, you came from 80s and now
85.
It's 60s here, not so bad.
But again, anything above 45 in Boston, I'm like, this is amazing.
It's not a bad time to walk around.
Really?
You like to walk, too.
I do
you
love
walk
to walk.
the city a lot.
Yeah, I walk to work.
I noticed on Facebook you just like... I see the little course that you keep.
Yeah.
One day you did 16 miles or something like that?
It was 12 miles.
12 miles. Okay.
I just put my headphones on, had my backpack, and just walked.
God bless you.
I just love it.
I wanted to walk the marathon someday, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a long one. Yes. Okay, so now we got Mike in the house too. Mike, now it's your turn to. Well, I got to put Mike's mic up. I got to put Mike's mic on.
There we go.
There you go. So now, actually, Mike, look, you're so bright over there. Okay.
I know. I'm just. What
he
can I
needs that
say?
Florida tan.
I'd never. Okay.
Thanks.
Love you.
Thanks.
You know, Yeah, Mike.
I know.
No, I didn't adjust the cameras.
It's
myself and Jules are on the darker side, and you're just like this big, bright,
beaming.
Yes, beaming
I just glow
light.
when I enter the room. That's
aura.
it.
All right, so Mike, what have you been up to this past week?
Oh man,
actually, Mike, what's the time? Well, it's been 2 weeks since you've been here too.
It has.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay, what's up in the past 2 weeks for you?
In the past 2 weeks, I have been anxiously awaiting some results on something that I did a couple weeks ago, and I still waiting to hear back. But I did make it to round 2 of the auditions for being the DJ for the Boston Red Sox.
Ooh!
So I'm anxiously awaiting to see if I get that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty fantastic.
It is.
So they had a first round. Now you did the second round.
Yep.
And so now there will be a final round, hopefully.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
It was a little.
I mean, the season's coming up now. We'll be talking to Higs about that too.
Yes.
About the baseball season tickets for the Bruins, the Celtics, the Red Sox, and everything else that might be coming up. So he's going to give us all that information.
Awesome.
So I know that. Well, Higs would know better than I know. The season starts April 1st, but they don't start April 1st at Fenway. I think it's more like the 11th or something.
No, I
think
I think opening day is April 1st, and they're playing the Orioles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was mistaken. Okay, we'll find out more about that.
I had to get all this knowledge in here because if I made it, I needed to figure out whose weddings I couldn't do.
Oh, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell people I can't do your wedding because I have to go to a ball game.
No. You got to finesse it.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Finesse it.
I don't have time for that stuff, so I'm just saying, hey, I'm doing it.
Hey,
somebody else go.
Well,
by.
you know what's crazy is that my brother's wedding was one of the conflicts, so we'll see.
Oh God.
Yeah,
wow.
It's I
How much do you love your brother, Mike?
No.
Okay.
All jokes aside, no. It was honestly like whatever the outcome is at this point, I was just really happy to be a part of the audition period. I mean, you're going out for something like the Red Sox. I mean, the only other thing I could compare that to was being able to be a DJ for Disney. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to be able to have that experience to go in and check it out and do that second round was definitely unique and interesting. I think the most interesting thing about it...
Did you do this in person or is it virtually?
It was virtual, but they didn't have a second person on the other side. It was, you had 1.5 to 3 minutes to answer the question that showed up on the screen.
Okay, yeah.
And that was it. So it was just... You had to record yourself answering the question that showed up on the screen. There was nobody asking the questions or anything like that. It was just...
So you're telling me that a computer interviewed you?
Yes.
I actually have something to say. So I auditioned for the Patriots cheerleaders 2 years ago, and I made it to third round. And the same thing. It was like a computer.
And that was before COVID too,
Yeah,
right?
that was before COVID.
Okay, so I guess that's pretty cool when you think about it. Yeah. It probably saves them a lot of time.
Oh, it definitely saves them time. But the thing that is so difficult when you go in for an interview, on a normal term, you would sit across from the person or have that person interviewing you. You'd be able to feel their energy. You'd be able to read, if they liked your response, if they didn't like the response, and just kind of be able to go back and forth with them in that sense, build that rapport, that presence kind of.
Connection.
The connection. Thank you. And then this was just weird.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it was different.
How do you talk to a machine, right? Jules, I didn't know you tried out for the Pats cheerleading squad.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I was like, why not? I had never had any cheerleading experience, and so I saw it, and I was like, I'm going to do it.
So I was going to say, would you do the same thing in Jacksonville?
Of course.
I know how much you love the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That was
how would that be if you did make the Patriots cheerleading squad and the Jaguars came to town? How would you would be so torn?
I would embrace being a Pats cheerleader because that's the job.
She's true blue. True red, white, and blue, I should say.
That's it.
Okay.
But it was a great experience. I made it to the third round.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of females apply. Now males too. Now males too. Mm-hmm. They started accepting men, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. That's the last year that Andrea was captain.
Yes.
Andrea Cadigan was captain. She hosts our Martha's Vineyard show. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You just one and done. You just said, okay, that's it. I'm just trying it once.
Well, then COVID happened.
Oh, yeah.
Now
it's
like,
it's a wrap.
Well, they still had the auditions this past year.
They did.
I mean, aren't they having them right now?
They're actually having them now, but I'm so golfed with. I'm so in love with golf.
You are engulfed. You are engulfed. That's exactly right.
No.
You're engulfed. Yeah. Got to start using that from now on. She's engulfed. So yeah, Jackie Manzo says, "Good luck, Mike."
Oh, thanks.
And
Thank
Jackie
so
also
much.
says, "That's my girl."
Hey,
yeah, you got a fan. Thank you, Jackie. Okay, so we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to talk about the Pats and the Red Sox and the Celtics and the Bruins and concerts and everything else like that. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Well done, my friend.
I've been practicing. You know, blackberry hint water tastes more like fresh blackberries than the blackberries in my pie.
Really?
Yeah, taste for yourself.
I believe I will.
And?
Delicious. Just blackberries, no sugary stuff. You know, my cherry hint water tastes more like cherries than the ones in my pie.
I'll be the judge of that. You're right. Cherry hint water tastes more like cherries, not like that sugary cherry stuff in your pie.
Seems impossible.
We should double check.
Hint, water with a touch of true fruit flavor.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside. Find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code. Dare to invent. Dare to explore. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Don't give it time to reload it. Bump all the rules, do it your own way. Oh, you know the conversations I have with the mirror. I just wanna turn all the way up. They be like, hey, 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 what you gonna do with your life? Do with your life. Whatever I want, whatever I want.
Okay, we're back from the commercial. I love that Dune Jewelry commercial. That's pretty cool. All right, so we have a special guest in our house tonight. Welcome, John Higgins. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Mike.
And John was so nice to wear a nice red vest to match our. He practically blends in. If the TV wasn't behind him, we wouldn't see him. No, that's okay. I love the jacket too. That's sort of like a spring vest, right?
It is.
It's a nice
good
lightweight.
for the golf course when Jules brings me out there.
To get you on the golf course early, huh? That's cool. Let's take a nice little close up. Yeah, there's the branding.
There it is.
Yeah, see, he's like me. Always branding. Get all of the performer everywhere. Although I have to change colors for the summertime. This is killing me in the summertime. Mike, we get them. What would be nice? We'll figure it out later.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Let's go back to John here. Okay, John. Higs Tickets. How long have you been in business?
20. Well, last year was our 20th year, which was probably the worst year on the books. But we're going into our 21st year now.
21st year. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Now, I know that you're located. Whoops, let me keep it for the long screen here. I know that you're located. One location was directly across TD Garden. Now, the other one was in the Baseball Tavern, which was on Boylston Street, and that has been temporarily taken down, and they're rebuilding it. New structures going in there. Are you going to be going back into the Baseball Tavern? What's the deal?
Yes, I've been working with Jim Rooney, the owner, and he's still working with the architects, but he has promised me he's going to cordon me off a little area that I can do my pickups and sales out of. Worked out so well for both of us, not only for the bar, but for myself down at Fenway, that I'm looking forward to moving in again. And he's hoping that he's going to be open next year, although with COVID, construction started clearly late. So I'm not exactly sure when he is going to open.
Yeah, I was going by probably about maybe 2 months ago, and I was this does not look like the Boylston Street I totally remember with the baseball tavern. I think the Tasty Burger's still there, but it looks completely different at this point. It kind of, it's that whole entire area has lost a lot of its charm to me. It's just buildings and glass now. That's
Boston.
Yeah, true. The Seaport it's all like that. I don't mind. I'm glad that Fenway is still where it is. At first, I was saying we need a new stadium, and I was kind of excited about the possibility we might get a new one. But as time goes on, I like the older stadium. It's nostalgic. It has a very good charm to it. It's what separates us from the rest of the league, in my opinion. That I like Baltimore's park too. Camden Yards is a very nice park. Been there several times. Okay, so by the way, I have a little the baseball tavern where you had your ticket counter. Right next to it was a nice mural on the wall with all the map of all the country and all the different baseball franchises. That was one of my cover shots for Dirty Water News back then.
So I don't know if you're familiar with that picture, but there was intentionally teams left off that mural.
Yeah.
And because the mural was put up by Anheuser-Busch.
Ooh.
And Colorado was not on there because they are Coors.
Right.
And Milwaukee Brewers were also not on there. But there was a couple of teams left off, and don't hold me to whoever the other one was.
No, that's okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
But it was always a trivia question, and to be honest with you, we had the answer written on the inside of the wall because we always forgot ourselves inside the office.
No, that's good. That's some good trivia down there. Yeah, we had some good parties down there, and I think the roof deck, of course, was phenomenal. Every time there was a game, people were crowded up there. Hopefully they'll have something very similar or better even when they reopen, and hopefully you'll be down there. So when the games were playing was the only time that you were open in the baseball tavern, correct? The football.
Yeah, we mainly used it for and again, there's other events, concerts at Fenway, and they even had the Winter Classic there. But it was a great, and it was no cost. Jimmy let me set up there, and it brought customers into his bar. It was worked out for both of us. But yeah, we just set it up for 2 hours prior to the game. You could come pick up. If you had tickets for sale for another game, we might buy them. But it worked out convenience-wise. It was fantastic.
Super. Now, the location across from TD Garden, is that the original one, or did you move there at some point?
No,
20 years.
Dating myself, but we originally were tucked in behind the penalty box by North Station Liquors back when the penalty box was open. And that was our original location. We had since moved over inside the Dunkin' Donuts building. I'd say we've been in the Dunkin' Donuts building 9 years now.
Okay. Now, so that you started after the new TD Garden popped up.
It was funny. It was our second location, the Garden. We were in the Hotel Commonwealth down at Fenway, and we opened up there the year that the Celtics signed Kevin Garnett.
Okay, so we're talking 2008,
I think.
Yeah, 7? I was going to say 2007, 2008. Okay, so that was.
That pushed us into spending more money for a second location. Yes, and it panned out because look at the Celtics. When did we win? 2008.
But everything so back when you opened up, the TD Garden was just the TD Garden at that point. Now everything around it, like Big Night Live and all that other stuff, that's only within the past 5 or 6 years, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, we were there when the railroad track still ran over Causeway Street.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It was. Wasn't that long ago?
Did all that construction kind of affect you a little, or how would that work out?
I mean, to be honest with you, I hated the area. I thought it was scary, especially tourists coming in. It was dark and dingy, and it wasn't very inviting. But they've blocked out all the light, haven't they? The natural light that was there, because TD Garden was pushed back from the original Boston Garden. And once the original Boston Garden came down, it opened up a lot of light on Causeway Street. Now all of a sudden, it's all these other buildings are back up again. All that light's blocked again. But yeah, you're right. The traffic patterns are different. There's so much that popped up in that area. Jules, you live right there.
I know.
Well, actually, Jules loves it because she loves cranes.
Oh my
God. anything that's building in that area,
construction.
Jules is like, yes, cranes.
I've been here 3 years,
yes.
And it's changed so much since I've been here. Because Higgs and I were neighbors, and it's so crazy.
Okay, how is he as a neighbor?
He's great.
We're in separate buildings.
Okay.
We need a little separation.
Yeah.
Great friends, but
no, that's good. How did you guys find each other?
I'll let you go with that.
I've stumped the panel.
I guess you could put Miss Monzo in the mix.
Yeah, no, it was before that. It was an event. It was some Boston night. It was an event.
Boston Man Magazine. Maybe it was one of those.
I think it was.
Yeah,
it was
maybe
Boston
Matt
Man
put
Magazine.
us in touch. Yeah.
Which one? The one at the
at Tresca.
Oh, Tresca.
No, I did not attend that one. No.
The only ones I've been to are the ones we had at Granite Links and.
That's who introduced us, Rich and Sarah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Tresca, one of the owners of Tresca introduced us.
And
I know Rich. I'm not personally, but I know
we've hit it off ever since, and now
I've been trying to get Rich down here for fun with food.
He's
for a long
so
time.
busy.
I know.
This man.
He keeps saying to me, "I'm too busy. I got this coming in." He wants to.
He works 24/7.
I know the feeling. Believe me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been.
But he gets to be around food all the time. I'm jealous.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. He gets to work with Ray Bork too.
Yes.
I love that.
Christmas Eve, I had dinner with him.
You know what, Jules? We're gonna have to go to him then.
Yeah.
You know that?
Oh, 100%. Let's do it.
We'll just do it. We'll just take the show on the road. We'll just go to him.
Oh, I'm so
We'll
down
do a
for
remote
that.
there. We'll do a remote.
Fun with food.
He'll put you up on table 77. You can
that sounds good to
simulcast
me.
right from the roof
So
deck.
fun with food with Rich. If you're watching, we're coming for you.
I'm gonna text you.
Good. Well, yeah, they'll be fun, especially when things start opening up on
because they're opening the patios as well outside.
Right. Well,
so.
I mean, I would like to go there when there's a lot of action going on in the streets. You know.
It's
so
soon.
Probably
It's in a
be
few
about a month or
weeks.
so.
Yeah.
We're probably talking mid-May, maybe something like that. We have to do that before we get involved with all the Martha's Vineyard.
That's true.
Jules, come on down from Martha's Vineyard.
I'm going to be there.
Biggs, you like to you travel a lot.
I'm a big OB guy.
You love
Oak Bluffs. That's my place. Going
Circuit
to
Avenue.
Nancy's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great place
That's
to
my
go in
hangout.
summertime.
Up at the Lookout, which is fabulous. You can watch your ferry come in, and you're not going to miss it.
They got a great location there. Mike, who owns that place, he also owns several other restaurants in that area.
Yeah, his Fishbones down right on the water too. Yeah,
Fishbones is on the harbor side.
Yep.
He owns a restaurant across from that too. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And he owns another fish market place on there. So all his places are great. But the Lookout, you're literally looking over the channel. And you see all the ferries coming in to Oak Bluffs, and it's a beautiful view from there. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
Run to your ferry.
Yeah,
yes.
You're
never going to miss it. You see it pull it in.
You see it pulling in. It's literally about maybe a couple hundred feet at the most to walk over there and just get on the boat.
Yeah.
So it's a great location. Great location to watch a game too because it's open air. We're giving him a great plug here, and he's not a sponsor. I know he is a sponsor of This Week on Martha's Vineyard. He is a sponsor. Okay, so when we get to all meet on Martha's Vineyard together, that's what we're gonna do.
I'm down.
Sandbar, that's another place I like to go. We go down there also in August a lot. We have the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Festival we go down for, awesome. This year we've got the Beach Road Weekend, which is a big musical festival. That usually happens in August sometimes. This year it's happening at the end of August. So,
well, my birthday is in August.
There you go. So we're going to have to celebrate your birthday down there too.
We're ready.
It sounds like we've planned this whole summer now, Jules. I'm going to say this just between us on here and people watching.
And everyone else.
We're going to be doing something to kick off summer right here. It's going to be called Swim Boston is coming back.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Swim
right.
Boston on the roof deck of Alba Restaurant in Quincy. Okay, June 27th, Sunday.
Ooh.
So we're going to kick off the summer season that weekend. Lots of beautiful people, beautiful bikinis, stuff like that. Our host is going to be Taylor Ardolino.
Yes.
Who hosts our Love Match show now. She's also hosts a few Night Move show. Jules, we got to get you in there somewhere too. Not necessarily in a bikini, but just get you in there. We're going to have you in charge of greeting people at the door. You're so good at that.
I can do whatever you want.
She'll walk away with 100 different phone numbers for new friends. Right? I made this friend and this friend and this friend. The problem is Jules will start talking to everybody. No one can get in.
Well, that's
she has to talk to everybody. That's okay. No, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, we're going to kick off summer in style. Yeah. Hopefully the situation will be so we can have everyone come in.
I hope so.
We'll see. Whatever it is. I can't do another virtual one. The Boston Fashion Awards took me. Sorry, John. The Boston Fashion Awards took more time and effort and energy to put together virtually than it did for the actual show. Can you imagine that? It's a lot more energy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. Mike was there
crazy.
too. All right, let's get back to venues opening up. So we're just talking about Alba, which is a restaurant. They have an absolutely gorgeous roof deck, big, huge roof deck. So we want to do it outside on the roof deck, have the food and the drink and everything. Your business is obviously somewhat affected by restaurants opening and closing, but more to the point, the bars, the venues where live music is played, or the theater, has all been shut down for about a little more than a year now, correct?
It has. I mean, we just talking in my office today. We're getting prepped for tomorrow. It's our first day open in 377 straight days we've been closed.
Wow. I did not realize that was going to be, you were opening up tomorrow for the first time.
First time tomorrow. I was in there today coordinating phones and networking the computers and stuff that I haven't done in years, that it's usually just turned on when I go in the morning. Now, all of a sudden, it's like you had to get a whole tech team in there to figure it all out.
Well, let's go back a year first, okay? So you got the news, we're shutting down, everyone's shutting down, and the whole entire space, you could walk outside and yell and nobody would hear you. So what happened at that moment for people that had tickets to events that were scheduled fairly close to that date?
So when they first came out, it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And, frankly, everyone kind of bought into it. And they weren't canceling anything. Everything was getting postponed. There was going to be a makeup day, kind of like a rained-out game at Fenway Park. Your tickets would still be good for the new date. So we were all working on that assumption that, 2 weeks flatten the curve. And to be honest with you, I grabbed my daughter out of school and we hopped on a plane to Florida. And I figured we'd hang down there for the 2 weeks and wait to come up. But yes, 2 weeks turned into 52 weeks. And,
pretty much. Okay, so after the 2 weeks and you realized this is not going to be opening up again, nothing's going to be opening up anytime soon, were you given instructions to start issuing refunds? How did that all work?
So that all came, our policy, and pretty much it's the same in the ticket industry, is once an event is canceled, you're going to get a refund. We were, I think, 7 to 10 days, all the refunds were done. I think by law it was 30 days, and I think that was Massachusetts. It's different for every state. But some companies really, pushed the envelope and said they were issuing credits, some ticket brokers, and they literally got raked over the coals. But that was the hardest part of the shutdown, was issuing the refunds. When they came rolling in week after week, day after day, another tour would be canceled. One of the biggest one was Billie Eilish, and she didn't cancel till just a few months ago. But yes, as these tours canceled, we were over $200,000 in refunds that we had to do. And there's no fun answering phone calls when you got people on the other line asking where's their money.
Yeah,
and again,
I can imagine.
We're kind of waiting. Bruins and Celtics, it's not like they refunded our season tickets. They just rolled our money into next year. So we were in DEFCON 3 at that point.
It's crazy.
Damn, that's a lot of statistics and things to go through there. How does that work for you as a business when you have a fee on top of the ticket price? Are you allowed to keep any of that for your service? Or
no, everything's 100% refundable. The only thing that wouldn't be is if we
like shipping or something,
FedEx their package, right. And the $15 FedEx fee would not be refunded. But everything, processing fees, whatever fees the customer got charged, they got 100% back.
So you had to pay for your man hours and help and things like, or maybe you did a lot of it yourself, but that's a lot of sweat equity to put in there for no return whatsoever.
I mean, once you charge a credit card, you're paying that credit card company 3%. When you refund that person, you're not getting your 3% back from the credit card company.
So you took a definite hit.
Everything you just got whacked on from both sides.
They should be able to keep at least. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard because the consumer didn't get what they wanted either, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the policy we have in place, and you got to stand by it. I mean, 100% refunded. Anything that's canceled, I wouldn't expect to buy anything unless if the event didn't happen. I wouldn't expect anything less than 100% back.
Now, at any point in time, guys, feel free to jump in if you want to.
Yeah.
If at any point in time during the past year were you told to go forward with the ticket sales of anything at all?
Yes. I mean, a perfect example is we sold a bunch of tickets for Kenny Chesney. He plays Labor Day weekend. His final tour dates are always at Gillette Stadium. He's a friend of Bob Kraft's. He's up in his suite all the time. And he ends his tour every year at Gillette Stadium. He plays a Friday and Saturday. And he canceled his tour. He said he was going to postpone to 2021. His dates were still on the books until just 72 hours ago, and he canceled everything to 2021 and pushed it to 22.
I just saw that, yeah.
Wow.
Which is,
I got that email.
And I feel bad for the people that bought it for, imagine buying a ticket for 2020, and you're not going to actually attend the concert till 2022.
Yeah.
Maybe. We could say maybe at this point.
Present.
Yes, who knows? Yeah. Who knows? I don't understand why they would cancel 2021 yet. It seems to me that things are going in a fairly decent direction. It seems a little premature. That's just my opinion.
It was. I mean, he had some smaller venues he was doing in June, and it was down the south, down in Texas, Tennessee, Florida, where it's a little more open than up here, and then he was working his way up. I really thought, if anything, he'd push those dates after Labor Day, but he just up and pulled the rug out from everyone and pushed everything to 2022.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is surprising.
Yeah. Sad to hear. So let's focus on what is coming our way.
Tomorrow,
Boston
yes.
Bruins.
Boston
Hallelujah.
Bruins. Okay, that sounds good. So when does the first Bruins? It was supposed to be this week, today, right?
Yesterday,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yesterday. It was supposed to be yesterday, but then they got a little screwed up with the COVID as well.
Yeah.
And so what? So tomorrow's the first one.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock against the Islanders.
7
Both
o'clock
teams,
against
the
the
Islanders skated at the Garden today at practice, and the Bruins were over at the Warrior Rink in Brighton, and they skated. They say COVID tested good, and everything is on board to play tomorrow.
Hey, Mike, you want to read that question from Dave McKenna?
Sure. I can't read the whole question.
Okay, I'll read it. Okay.
On this.
It says, will every company that you purchase tickets from on a credit card, okay, is this a question or is it, will every company that you purchase tickets from on a credit card, they will automatically send a refund to the card? I'm assuming so.
Yes, typically that's what they'll do. I mean, there's some companies, and not to single one out, but at the very beginning, StubHub, just the monstrosity of a company that they came out with, we're going to issue you a 125% credit on your account. And all of a sudden there was lawsuits and politicians came after them and laws were being broken, which they since came back off of that and secured loans to pay everyone. But typically you will get a refund on your credit card. If you buy it straight through Ticketmaster or something like that, that automatically you shouldn't have to ask for one once the event gets canceled. If you're buying it from a small company like myself, you'd reach out to the company with your receipt, send a copy. Typically, once we refund it and we void out the transaction, we send our customers a copy of the voided transaction and let them know it probably won't reflect for 7 to 10 days. But everything should be refunded to your credit card. You're not going to start getting checks in the mail.
Okay. So what now for tomorrow's game? It's 12% capacity, correct?
That's right. It's about 2,000 people.
2,000 people. Now, I'm assuming there's probably more than 2,000 season ticket holders. How is this all working out?
Absolutely. I mean, I thought the number was about 70% at the Garden for season ticket holders. So what they came to us, and I'll give you, for instance, we have one season ticket holder account. It's got about 12 seats for every game on it. And Bruins came to us and said, you can buy a pair of seats for 3 games. And we were like, we have an invoice of almost $100,000 with you, and you're giving me 3 pairs of tickets for the whole season. So there's some back and forth. You need to have conversations with your reps and whatnot. But yes, they kind of laxed it up a little bit, and tickets have gone on sale. And, as the first wave of sales went through, they opened up some more games. And to their credit, they're giving in the season ticket holders first dibs on buying them.
Excellent. So let's take a look at your website here with all these are the tickets that are available right now for the Bruins, correct?
That looks like the TD Garden,
TD Garden
event
right.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have
so
Celtics open up on Monday,
Celtics,
right?
Yeah. Okay. And you get the Bruins there. Are any music concerts being scheduled yet?
Nothing at the Garden quite yet. I mean, I think the first one that technically has been okayed to sell is The Weeknd, and he's not playing, I think, till January of 2022.
Okay, so it looks like they're going to keep that under wraps for a little while too, and probably see how everything goes with the flow of people and how they probably adhere to the rules at this point in time, which I'm assuming is probably going to be lessening or lightening up over the course of the summer. Where if at phase 4, step 1, so I'm assuming there's a step 2 if there's a step 1, we'll have to figure that all out later on, but I'm assuming that maybe by the time the fall rolls around, we should be somewhat more back to normal. Has the Patriots said anything about their possible capacity for the fall?
They were about 7,500 was the original, once the governor came out with 12%. Doing the math, they were clearly the biggest venue, so they got about 7,500. Now, me personally, and I think there was some memo that went out that they were going to reevaluate every 2 to 3 weeks, and potentially which way it goes up the capacity of these venues. I don't think they're going to really change Boston until the end of April at the very earliest. I think they'll wait till May just to see how things go. But outdoor venues, sure, it's a little more, it's a little easier concert venues, when it comes to the city of Boston, you look at the pavilion down on the seaport.
Right.
That's kind of an open air venue. That's 5,000 seats. I don't know what they're going to initially open with.
That's very open air because you get that nice breeze coming.
Oh, it's a great venue. I love it down on the water there.
Love that place.
I want to say something about the Patriots.
Go ahead.
So the Jags are playing the Patriots this year.
Uh-oh.
Here in Boston.
Uh-oh.
So
are you glad you're not a cheerleader right now?
They better have fans because I'm going to have me Jags out and it's going to be so much fun.
Actually, you've been to 2 Jags games, right? 3 this past year, right?
I did in Jacksonville.
Wow, look at you.
And it was 20% fans there.
And another not so important game is happening at Gillette when Tom Brady comes up with Tampa Bay.
That's right. He's coming up.
You see that face?
Yeah. Oh, we can still be fans of Tom Brady, but still root for our Patriots. That's what we did for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
I think our team is looking a lot better now than it did last year. Let's be honest.
Like I said, the Jaguars are playing the Patriots this year.
Okay, Jules.
In
we know we're going to see a lot of posts on Instagram that day from you.
I'm going to
right?
be there. Oh, y'all. Ready?
I love it.
In my defense, I had to vote for the Chiefs.
Your family,
going
right?
Into this one, my sisters live in Kansas City, and I.
Don't worry, Mike. You guys were losers. I remember.
Oh my God. Okay, back to Higs.
Yeah. Okay, back to Higs. So the Patriots, are they also given the green light to start pre-selling, or when is that going to happen?
Yeah, so they really haven't told season ticket holders what they're going to get yet. Originally, the Patriots came out and was hoping that season ticket holders would pick 2 games and they'd tier them by seniority. I think they're holding off, hoping that 12% will go up and up. So come, August and September, when August is their preseason and September is regular season, they're hoping that they at least get to 50%, but we will see. Me personally, I think Biden said by the end of April, they should have enough people in the United States to get the whole herd immunity thing going.
I think they want to make sure that people are signed up by the end of April or beginning of May or something like that. It's still logistically a very difficult thing to be doing. But last year we did learn probably that the summertime does reduce the spread of it a little bit because everyone's out in the open air being a little bit more healthy. The only one place that had a problem was the South because they were all inside with the air conditioning. So I think that was an issue. So you got to be careful about that probably in the South. It kind of flip-flops. It goes from the northern states to the southern states and then kind of back to the northern states again. I'm hoping that by the time fall does come in, the vaccine does have some kind of effectiveness. But we'll see. Let's hope that we keep going forward and not going backwards. That's the thing. Because if someone like you starts selling tickets at 50% or 75%, then all of a sudden they say, oh, we got to roll back again. That's even logistically more hard because then you got to determine, well, who's going to give up their seats and who's not.
Absolutely. It's a great point. Once you disperse them, it's tough getting them back. That's going to be a nightmare. Like, we want you to give your tickets back.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so I was going to say, you want to make sure that it's going to be moving forward. So they got to make some heavy decisions to make. And now we got a new Boston mayor, too. So, I mean, most of the time, Mayor Walsh did follow the governor at some point, but further down the line. But who knows what the new mayor is going to do? And then there might be a change of mayors again next year in January. So we'll see. There's a lot of moving parts to all this, isn't there?
Yeah. A lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving
parts.
And a
lot of money being thrown over.
Now, we've been talking about sports and music. What about Broadway plays, Wang Center? You sell tickets to pretty much anything that's a big event in Boston. What's the outlook for Broadway or theater?
I mean, that whole SBA, that sheltered venue grant that's coming out, I think the first week in April, that's supposed to be a game changer when it comes to these venues that, like, and to give you a for instance here at in Boston, like the Orpheum Theater, the Colonial Theater, stuff like that, the Boston Opera House, them as the smaller venues in Boston that can't have anyone there. But yes, they came out with this, SBA came out with this grant that's opening up the first week in April. So I'm hoping that holds them over to they finally start allowing fans in. And again, I don't think those indoor theaters are going to happen until the fall.
Interesting. I don't. I know you probably don't handle stuff for like the South Shore Music Circus or the Cape Cod Melody Tent. Well, maybe you do.
No, I do.
You do? Oh, there you go.
Lewis used to be one of my favorite concerts to go see down there.
He does visit the Cape Cod Melody Tent a lot.
Yeah.
So those are open air venues. So they'll probably be a lot like the Pavilion, where they could probably have a few more people. They maybe have a little distancing on inside, but they do have open. Technically, it's open air. So if we have the running show. The shows have been running like Sheer Madness, Blue Man Group. Do you know if they're going to be returning or not, or they just say, okay, we're done?
I'm not sure on the venues, and again, it's kind of the same as these restaurants. Whatever they have worked out with their landlords, I imagine that these, Blue Man Group leases that building. What the landlord wants to do with the property is up to the landlord. If they can't work out something, then maybe have another act come in to take over the venue for Blue Man Group. But it's on a case-by-case basis, similar to the bars and restaurants in the city of Boston.
Yeah. That's the Charles River Playhouse, right?
Yeah, Charles River Playhouse.
Yeah.
Charles Playhouse, not Charles River.
Playhouse.
The Charles
Okay.
Playhouse.
Sorry.
The Charles River
bad,
Playhouse,
my bad.
that's Fishes.
Oh, right.
If they still can survive in Charles River. Okay, so...
Yeah.
The Colonial, the Majestic, those are owned by Emerson, I believe. So I don't think they're hurting for money at this particular point in time.
True.
Wang Center is the Wang. It's actually the Bach Center. It's the Wang Theater at the Bach Center.
That's right.
So he's got plenty of money. So
but you look across the street from that is Royale.
Yeah, Royale. Yeah, they might be suffering.
They can't do venues, and even if they could, they need to put people in there. You can't put 75 people in that venue and expect to make money.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
just the overhead alone is ridiculous. I know because I've had events there, and I know how much it costs to rent the place.
Right before all the quarantine stuff happened, they had opened Hava, which was the new nightclub that took over Cure. They renovated Cure nightclub and made the whole thing Hava. And the night that Boston shut down their clubs was the night I was supposed to debut at Hava.
Oh, no.
And they haven't opened anything yet. So I have no idea how the nightclubs are holding
Yeah, I think
out.
the nightclubs are probably going to be the last to be allowed to open up. I think the bars, I know nightclubs and bars are synonymous a little bit, but bars are not as active as a nightclub is. You got people moving around close together, scrunched together. Bars a little bit less than that.
I'm active at a bar.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not like a nightclub where people are dancing. You've seen a nightclub where VIP, there's like 20 people in a booth that fits 6 people.
That's true.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I think the nightclubs might be the last to really get the green light. Bars are starting to slowly... I mean, they haven't been officially allowed open, but restaurants with bars are.
And even with the restaurants open, I know I used to do a lot with the Greatest Bar right across from the Garden, and they're
Higs
not
knows the Greatest Bar pretty well.
They're not allowing, but they're not having DJs at the bars yet.
They can't. It's so weird. So when it comes to musicians, they're allowed to have a keyboard player and a guy playing a cello, but they can't have the guy singing the Frank Sinatra song. I don't know who devised that up, but it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Isn't it now this week starting that you can have regular musicians in the restaurants?
Yep.
In the restaurants only.
But not DJs.
But not DJs.
That's right.
That makes no sense.
Something about speaking or, I don't know.
Okay, so you can have music, instruments, but not vocals.
You could have someone strum a guitar, but he can't sing lyrics.
But DJs, they think DJs are on the mic all the time?
It's also crazy.
Yeah,
but then, Mike, you brought up our friend S.J. Torres, and you look at his place, Howl at the Moon.
Howl at the Moon is, I love Howl at the Moon. And he also owns Down Ultra Lounge underneath, too. Yep. But Howl at the Moon is a restaurant. So technically, Howl at the Moon can open up now.
It can, but the whole concept of them with playing a piano and singing.
Well, you can still play the musical instruments.
You can, but you can't. Yeah.
Yes,
with the lyrics that kind of throws it off. Yeah.
It's crazy because you can have, like Higgs was saying, you can have the keyboard, but like my cousin plays trumpet, I play saxophone. Like you can't have, there's no woodwind music or brass music. You can't have anything that I guess includes breathing, like to play the instrument.
SJ owns the Howl at the Moon, also at Foxborough. He's a part owner there too, and Splitsville. So I know Splitsville is operational, right? That's operational.
Right. Yep.
So they have some things going on down there. That's good to know. But yeah, it's if you are a hybrid restaurant, bar, whatever activity, it's a little hard to tell. Well, what's the dominant feature there? And they've been saying, okay, well, you're a bar. So you can't open up. Even if you might be something else, maybe serving bar food or something, they still don't consider bar food a restaurant. So a lot of people were in that, what do we do? What are our classification? So there's a lot of confusion in the beginning. I think it's probably clear.
We lost a lot of restaurants.
Yes, we did. Unfortunately, that's the one thing. And I know we work with Wicked Bites and Pat and Scott Whitley, and we've seen, and I've been talking to Scott regularly all through this past year, and he's been saying everything's dying, including his own show was suffering a little bit for a while. It's going to come back again in May. and that's on Nesson as well. But yeah, he was telling that all the little shops, the little restaurants, have been slowly, painfully dying, and it's not nice to see. And we hope that a lot of them come back at some point. Another thing too is I think that especially when we had the first PPP loans, the big companies, the big the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and all the others, they knew how to navigate that. The little ones didn't know how to navigate that to get that money. And I think that's where the disconnection was. They say, okay, we'll get the money for you, but they didn't know how to get the money. And these other companies, okay, we'll take it. And they took it, and then these little guys, they suffered because of it.
So
Go ahead, Mike.
I think that was impartial because the big companies had the employees or the overhead that they had to pay for, where the smaller businesses may not have that much of an overhead. I think it was written out that if you used 70% of the loan or whatever the case was, you didn't have to pay it back. But if you did not use that specific amount, then you had to pay that stuff back. And the smaller companies or businesses were just afraid of having
that makes
to pay
sense.
that
Sure,
kind
a
of
few
money
of them
back.
were probably afraid. But that's what I'm saying, though. They probably didn't know the particulars and what would happen to them if they
weren't
did.
educated on what's
they weren't
going on.
educated enough
It was all new to everybody.
It was new. Yeah, it was new to everybody. And so, we have seen a lot of great restaurants go under, and it's kind of sad. But we've also seen some restaurants that popped up during that time too.
That's true.
And they had to adapt to the new business model. And hopefully they'll all survive at this point. But we'll never know. But we'll do everything we can to try and support them in some way, at least like cheerleaders on the sidelines.
Well, Higs started a group this year.
You did? That's right. Talk about the group. The small business group.
Yeah, it was just completely on a whim. I had set it up. It was, you know what it was? It was like a couple of days after the Fours of Boston, which I always, when you look at restaurants closing, I look at the Fours as like the straw that broke the camel's back.
We still got ours, though, right across the street. We still got ours. But go ahead.
Yes, and I was there the other night, had my clam chowder, which I consider the best clam chowder in the city. But yeah, so that was something that finally just set me off. And it was like every morning you get up and you look at social media and someone else is closing. So that's when I started this group. And it was funny. I just jumped in the shower and came out, and there was 500 people joined up. By the course of a day or two, there was 1,000, there was 2,000. And then we were planning events, and we would plan events at bar rooms, socially distanced, do our, appropriate things in advance, but it brought business to the bars that otherwise wouldn't have anyone. And we're trying to organize them around Patriots games, around sporting events, something to watch. And then everything else went in lockdown. The 9:30 curfew came in. You couldn't stay in a bar room or a restaurant for more than 90 minutes. You couldn't have more than 6 people at a table. It was like everything we were trying to do. I swear that the governor would come out with a press conference and just completely shoot it dead. But we did have a lot of people, and we still have a lot of people. We still have events going on, and we had people donating to the group, which we still have a bank of money. And I was talking about musicians. We were looking forward to doing events and hiring the musicians, the gig workers that are out. But you can't even do that. And here we are today.
That's what I'm saying.
You're allowing people to go to the TD Garden to a Bruins game, but you're not allowing someone to sing into a microphone 20 feet away from patrons.
I'm telling you that.
I think that's going to change fairly quickly, though, hopefully. I mean,
hopefully.
Things still, it's still kind of leveled off. It's plateauing around maybe like 2,000 a day, give or take, just under 2,000 a day. But I think once the warm weather starts really kicking in, people get out more people get vaccines. I think we're going to be a little bit more at ease about the whole entire thing. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a day-by-day thing. I see different sides of this, too, because one of our media partners, Mundo Boston, they cover a lot of the Hispanic communities in the area, where a lot of the densely populated dense populations in those areas, the spread was so rapid and so intense. You saw the other side of it, like places like Chelsea, Lynn, Revere, Lawrence, and what happened to those communities. If they didn't shut down, it would have been a complete disaster. Unfortunately, one size does not fit all. That's the problem. And with the limited, I think, resources and manpower that they had at the time, they were just trying to make the best decisions possible. But now they have more information now. So I'm hoping, we all hope that their decisions and their path becomes a little clearer and a little better for all these people that have been suffering for the past year.
I hope
Hopefully,
so.
That's hopeful. Yeah. That's all you can do now is hope, right?
Yep.
And it's nice to see places starting to open up. Everybody is dying to get, not dying, bad choice of words. Everyone is anxious to get out there and experience life again as we used to know it. Starting to go to restaurants again and activities again. I know that like Dave & Buster's is open again. That's one of our clients, not sponsors, coming up in the next couple weeks too. So yeah, it's nice to see everyone starting to go out there and do things again.
I hope so.
Higgs, what's your one thing you missed during the past year? Activity, restaurant, anything?
It put me on the spot here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can.
I was thinking when you brought up bars that were closed because they don't serve food, they're not under a restaurant criteria. And
was there a bar you missed?
I immediately thought of my favorite bar that I like to go to, and I reached out to the manager and the owner, and I was like, "Can we start serving, maybe some chips and dip or something, so you guys can open?" And it's a nice establishment on LaGrange Street. I'd rather not say the name.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to say the name. That's fine. Jules, what's the one thing you missed during the past year?
Okay, so I love sports, obviously, and I would typically go to TD Garden, buy one ticket, and meet people and have fun.
That sounds like you, exactly.
But you can't even do that now.
Especially when you live like right across the street from it. Too.
Seriously, and like even now when like sports are coming out, it's hard to get one ticket for one person.
I make a prediction. I think you're going to get your Boston experience back this summer.
I hope so.
And it will be very satisfying. It's because we haven't had it for so long. It's going to be special again.
True. And I like bar hopping too.
Well, that will happen again too. I know it will. I know it will.
I hope so.
If not, just buy a case of beer and just hang out on your patio or something and look at the cranes. Look at the cranes, Jules. Go ahead. Look at the cranes. That's fun. And now that was a very philanthropic thing that you did. Try and get people to come and help and support all these different establishments in the Boston area. Now I know you do a lot of charity work in the Boston. Take a look at this.
Oh, Kindle.
That's a nice, isn't it? Yeah. That looks very adorable right there. So what other stuff do you do in the Boston? Well, you can talk about pre-COVID. What other stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, we have something going on. We just started it up. We're sending our first people in Sunday to a Bruins game, and we set it up for people that wanted to go to a sporting event that technically couldn't afford it. And we asked people to nominate different, people they might fit the bill. And our first person was, what a story when she told me. She recently graduated became a mortician, head of a funeral home, and she was embalming bodies 6 months out of school. And when she was doing 5 to 7 a day, and they shipped her out to Los Angeles because they were dropping off 160 bodies a day, and they had 6 people there. If you could do the math, they're doing 36 bodies a day and getting 160 dropped to them.
Wow.
And this is what a girl did just out of college, just with her degree. God. And she's like, and I got time and a half. I wasn't even deemed an essential worker. She just came. But she was just deemed by the governor as an essential worker this week.
That's so
wow,
great.
That's fantastic.
So you're sending her to the Bruins game?
She's going to the Bruins game Tuesday night.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, tell you what, we're going to take a quick little break right here, and when we come back, we'll close things with John and see what else is happening in the future. We'll be right back.
Huh. They made this blackberry taste exactly like blackberry hint water.
They made this watermelon taste like hint water, too.
How'd you farmer wizards make all this fruit taste just like hint water?
Well, we triple irrigate our fruit with hint water in the world's largest biosphere, which modifies the DNA to taste exactly like hint water.
Really?
No.
What a sarcastic farmer.
Hint, water with a touch of true fruit flavor.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hi. Can I get the Now Bar, please?
No problem. $1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hi, can I get a Now Bar, please?
$1.
Thanks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, let me get a Now Bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
How's it going? Can I get a now bar?
Hey, stop right there! Get down on the ground! Out of your spot, right? Get down! Over your head!
Show some respect. Show you give a damn. Show the world how it's done. Show them that when your community needed you the most, you showed up. Mask up, America.
Okay, we're back with John Higgins from Higs Tickets. Thank you very much, John, for coming down tonight. I hope we get to see you at a lot more parties in the very near future so we can have more scenes like this one right here.
Higs Angels.
Where was this? Where was this?
The good old
Higs Angels. Okay, cool. Well, John, it looks like you might have to come down to our Swim Boston event so you can get more pictures like this one. That's for sure. And also, we want people to visit your website once things start rolling. And this is his website right there. And that's a great looking concert. Is that Kenny Chesney?
I'm not sure what. It looks
like the pavilion.
Kind of looks like the pavilion.
Oh, that's the pavilion. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at me, Miss Boston over here.
Wow, look at, yeah, right.
All right.
Miss Boston.
All right.
Did they,
Self-crowned. Self-crowned.
Self-crowned, yeah, okay, that's okay. Hey, keep going, Jules, you'll get there. You'll get there. You don't,
I'm there, baby.
Forget
I'm
it.
there.
Forget being a Patriots cheerleader. Just be a Boston cheerleader. How's that?
There you go.
Okay, we'll just call
All
it.
Boston.
Too bad they don't have the Ice Girls anymore for the Bruins, do they?
No,
they
it's been
don't.
a few years.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That was a union.
That was a union
decision.
thing.
Yeah, they
Oh.
filed a grievance that the bullpen boys they weren't union members. They shouldn't be on the ice during the game.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
Only Boston.
And the Fenway never had any, and of course the Revolution had some, and they're gone now too.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I'll make my own.
So the Celtics have the dancers still, right? Or they're,
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
so the Celtics okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. I thought it would just like withering
And
away.
they
to
came out
nothing.
the year that Red Auerbach died.
Really?
Because he said they would never be under his watch.
Oh.
And the first year he died,
Oh,
they
okay.
rolled out the dances.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, hey, sorry, Red.
How about them Jaguars?
You gotta get one more in. I think come August, she's gonna be in full Jaguar mode.
Oh,
Be
my
careful.
God.
Be ready. The claws are gonna
Not
come out.
ready for this.
The claws are literally gonna
better
come
get
out.
ready.
I'm
Yes.
not ready for this.
All right, Jules. Hopefully you'll be back very soon again.
Yes, of
and
course.
Mike's always going to be here
That's the
day in and day out. John, we hope you have a great spring, a great summer. We hope that everything starts opening up again and people get to enjoy music, sports, Broadway, and all that fun stuff again. Because without art, and entertainment and sports, we have really pretty dull lives, don't we? As we found out this past year, right? Without food too. All the
Thanks for
restaurants.
having me. I had a good time.
Thank you for coming down. Rich at Tresca, look out. We're coming for you.
I'm gonna call him.
Yes, I want some of that chicken parm.
Oh,
That's all
my
I'm telling you. That
gosh.
looks amazing. And we know that sauce is being sold in stores everywhere. So
I have them in
go pick it
my
up.
cupboard.
There you go. All right, next week we'll be back again. We get some models coming in and a lot of fun. Stay tuned for Night Moves tomorrow night. Good night, everybody. Take care.